Hey everybody, welcome to Immortals Inc. podcast. I'm Carlos. Hope you like this video, share this video, and drop a comment. And if you really like us, subscribe, please, or join. Right, Mikey?
Or join.
Or join.
That's a thing now. Thanks to all of us in the room, including the Easter egg that we have.
Hey folks, John here today.
Breaking the fourth wall. Is it?
Fourth wall.
Does that count?
No,
I don't think so.
I think you've done enough, like with Carlos.
No, wait.
It's not.
Fourth wall's that way.
Usually behind the camera, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
And speaking of the camera,
today we're going to reach behind us and grab off the shelf. Dallas. The television role-playing game. Yes, this is a real thing. Yes, it came out in the 1980.
and yes, Carlos spent money on it.
Man, this is hard to find. I'm not going to look. It's got the chits
See,
and everything.
that part I can't believe that it's hard to find.
Try to find it.
I'd rather not.
Try to find it. That's the point. That's what makes it collectible.
Well, the interesting thing about it is the art director, in an interview discussing the game, came out and said they printed 80,000 copies of it, which was 79,999 copies more than he thought anyone actually wanted.
I got the one. You know, the rest are in a landfill somewhere.
I'm pretty sure they did have to landfill some of those. Yeah.
Listen, so that's what makes it valuable. Listen, if you're a collector, you got to find something nobody wants or you think is dumb because in 20 years, everybody's going to want it because it's so...
It might be more than 20.
Nah, this is...
40.
Close enough. Anyway, the point is...
I'm 20. Okay.
Yeah, look at him. So anyway...
What you're saying is someday they'll want you?
Yeah.
The point is
Comes with time.
that it's now collectible because it's funny. I don't know if anybody remembers Dallas, but back when you only had like 3 channels and you had to live off of that and find something else to do besides flip endlessly through garbage.
We had UHF.
All right, 5 channels. Sorry, 5 channels. I know that's blowing some people's mind right now, but Dallas was on a Friday night, right? 10 o'clock? Because it was considered prime time? Because it was...
So there was way too much naughtiness in Dallas for it to be aired in my house growing up.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
If I remember my mother watching this all the time, is Dallas. I remember watching this because it was funny. There's a bunch of Texans.
Yeah, no, there was way too much hanky-panky for it to have been allowed in my house.
It just kind of was just maybe. Ooh, yeah, you're kind of uptight, ain't you, John?
Well, my parents certainly were.
I couldn't see any hanky-panky either. So I was like...
Explains a lot. Explains a lot, gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen.
Carlos was just watching the hanky-panky.
Well, I don't think it was. I think it was more about the power struggles and the storyline and the back and forth. And
Well, there was definitely seduction going on.
Oh, well,
part of the power struggle.
You kind of got to learn that.
In fact, that's one of the stats.
You got to learn that in real life.
Fair enough.
But anyway, so this was produced by SPI, correct?
It was SPI's first attempt to make a role-playing game. They were primarily a war game manufacturer to this point.
Like
right?
the little chits on the table
exactly,
war game.
the
Accurate
chits on
historical,
the table. And if you look through these books, you'll see that the sections are numbered, shockingly enough, just like those old chit games.
Yeah, they were like 1.1.0 is the rule.
Right. Who needs page numbers?
Yeah,
Why would you want a page
Refer
number?
to 1.38.
Yeah.
No. Which means there's 38 after the 1.8.
Yeah, so I think this book, the total page count in here is on the order of about 30 pages.
Yeah,
so this is a box set that's mostly a box set, so there's some cards in there. And as role-playing games go, there are some very interesting aspects about this that you got to remember. This came out right around 1980, so Dungeons and Dragons was Dungeons and Dragons was a brand new thing, right? And so people who knew role-playing games expected to be exploring and killing things. And as much as JR got shot, there's no combat rules in this game.
You only got shot once.
I understand that, but it was kind of a big deal in, 80s culture.
It's kind of a big deal anytime you get shot.
Well, fair. But
I mean, to you mostly.
Him getting shot on in the series was huge, right? Well, yeah, there's no combat in the game. So the people who were role players kind of came to it and went, bah. And the people who weren't role players, who were fans of Dallas, kind of went and looked at it and said, wow, this is really nerdy.
It's too nerdy.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't it like for kind of like a role, like a, what would you compare it to now, modern?
Well, the concept, the high concept, and this was brand new at the time, was this was going to be a party game, right? This was going to be a host a murder mystery kind of game.
Oh, yeah, it would
because
be.
this was a decade before any of those even came out. And so because of that, they said we need to have all the main characters, all the recurring characters from the show. So there's 9 characters in here. Now, the interesting thing about that is that means you need to have 10 people at your table when you're playing it, because you can't really double up on it. Everybody's supposed to be playing one character, and that's, well,
So you had to
kind
have
of a
party.
big game group.
You had to have a party of 10.
Yeah.
You had to have a party of 10
Your game
people.
master plus 9 players.
You had to have a party of 10 that watched Dallas,
Yes.
knew Dallas,
Yes.
understood Dallas. You couldn't just walk into this blind because,
Yeah.
but
And there's no character creation rules, right? So you're going to be playing the characters from the show. So everybody's going to get a handout with their character sheet.
script.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
And then the game master also has a script for what the plot is of this episode. And each of the characters has different goals for the plot. So there's a little bit of a, I don't know, kind of a negotiation going on where you're trying to get people to be on your side so that you can accomplish your goals. And maybe everybody can achieve all their goals all at once. But generally, there's going to be a clear-cut winner then too. So maybe that's a good idea for, a party game for people who aren't, hardcore role players, that they can say, oh yeah, there's a win condition for this.
Probably if they wouldn't have slapped Dallas on this and another company did it, they could have probably played it as a, what do they call them now?
Party game?
Yeah, party game.
Yeah.
Murder mystery.
I think so.
I guess murder mystery would probably be the best.
I think if they hadn't been trying to do chit-based game levels of crunch at the same time as they were trying to innovate a party game idea, it might have gone better. As it is, there are some neat ideas here that, have been fleshed out in other products that have come out in the 40-odd years since then.
Yes.
But this is not a fantastically put-together product. This was a product that was, in my opinion, generated to try and make some money. And I think it kind of failed spectacularly at that.
Wasn't it their first crossover into a mainstream media attempt?
It was SPIs. It was not the first licensed tabletop RPG.
But SPIs.
But yeah,
first.
it was. They needed to raise some money, and they managed to snag this license.
Somebody was sitting
somehow.
there going, "How do we make money on a licensed?" Oh, Dallas.
Exactly. Yeah. The other thing that I found hysterical is there's an art director for this product, right?
Go on.
There's no artwork inside. There's a picture on the box.
There's art.
That's all the art that the art director
this
did.
Is 1980. You didn't Photoshop this. You had to put this on a piece of paper.
Right, this was actual layout, but he didn't, just draw anything. He took the stills that he got from whatever the network was and slapped them down onto the artboard.
John, that's called a collage, and that's art.
Well, inside the
These
books,
words, these aren't like.
No, I get it. This was all paste up, right? This was all had to be done physically, but
that's why these are so.
When
great.
I hear art director, I expect somebody to have drawn something.
Listen, have you seen new art directors lately? All right, let me hear it. Art directors. We've seen a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of problem going on.
Art direction by Google, yes, but that's
there's not one drawing in the book though.
There is no the. Art is just what I would call graphic design. Mm-hmm. So somebody had to do the graphic design for the back of the playing cards.
That's it. Find a picture. There's it's an ad.
Yeah, that's an ad for
it's an ad, false
something
alarm.
else. Yeah, the script writer's guide tells you what you might want to do.
Basically just fonts and stuff like that, different fonts and charts.
Yeah, it's
not even really different fonts.
This was very basic paste up layout before anybody had access to a graphic design program or a word processor.
This is great. Look at this. Bobby Ewan, Pam Ewan, Lucy Ewan.
Yeah, if you're a big fan of Dallas, I'm not. But if you happen to be, there's a lot of content in here, though I think you might be better served by a guide to the series than you would be by the attempt at a game here.
I don't think this Ewing aged well. His name is Jock Ewing.
I'm guessing it's not because he was French.
No, that's his name. Just Jock. Anyway, I like it. It's not even I like the game. I didn't play it. It's not like I never played.
He's
this
just
game.
happy to own it.
It's like a classic piece, man. It's like, come on.
It is definitely a
Like you said, it was something they tried. It didn't work, but
Yeah.
they took a bunch of pieces of from down the line. So
Yeah.
at one point or another, somebody had to trailblaze this.
It was innovative.
Yes.
It was
Oh, there we
definitely
go.
innovative.
Jinx.
Don't get me wrong, but let's say ahead of its time is
Yeah,
the most
a lot.
diplomatic way you could say that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you do something like this, and bam, you're rolling in the dough, and you're famous.
Sure.
And sometimes it just falls flat on your face.
Sometimes you have to landfill an awful lot of copies.
Listen, it just makes it go up right there. It's Dallas.
You reduce the supply and increase the demand.
Yeah. Look, there's a landfill with a bunch of Dallas and a bunch of ET video games.
cartridges.
That's
You know,
what
I bought that one with my allowance back in the day.
Yeah, how does that make you feel? Did
Like
you hang
I
on to it?
May have bought.
I think it's
like,
probably worth more now.
like
than it
I
was then.
probably should have bought some shares of Apple instead.
Ah, pff. Company's bunk. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. If you like what you see, give us a subscribe. If you really like what you see, give us a join. Mikey's here.
I'm here.
That's how he eats.
That's how I eat.
So he's pretty skinny now. So
Till next time, folks. Good
Bye.
gaming.